Hello.
Hi everyone. Whoa, look at your hat. You're all aloft. Aloft.
Hello, everybody.
Aloft. Hi ladies and some men. Ooh. But mostly ladies, because that's why we're here, isn't it? Ladies.
Yes, ladies.
Ladies. So, I'm here because I'm going to text the whole way through this, or my questions are on it. You can decide. You'll decide. So we're going to talk about obviously the theme of this conference is the female advantage, and Tyra here, you, was born with a female advantage. You can tell just by looking at her, but she's transcended it with her tremendous success in the media in the years since. In the 2 years since you finished modeling.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, now you're turning 22, and but 20 cycles of America's Next Top Model, Tyra Banks show, and just her general work empowering girls everywhere and making them feel good about themselves. Which when you look like this and you've had this sort of career, it's a tremendous gift to make women feel like you're like them. And,
which is an oxymoron, right?
Which is
because
an oxymoron.
Modeling and then self-esteem, it seems like
that's an achievement.
Yeah.
So all I can say is advantage Tyra. See what I did? It's like a tennis thing. Anyway, so what would you say, I mean, I think we all have opinions of what the female advantage is, but what would you say has been your dominant advantage as a female, because you are one?
Yeah, one of my female advantages, I would have to say, actually, it's humor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's been very important for me. It's natural. It's funny to talk about humor and to be speaking about it like this and not being funny.
I like it when you say it like this, deep.
But I thought it was very important for me to actually show my real self, because models are silent movie actresses. So before people would meet me, they thought that I was like, hello, my name is Tyra, and I'm from Los Angeles, but I talk like this. Models, they do that weird thing, like, oh, I travel all over the world, and that's why I talk weird. It's like, no, you're talking weird because you're trying to be affected. Yeah. So anyway, people thought that that's what I was until I started speaking and being myself and acting a fool and not caring. And I think that humor helped a lot in transitioning me from this, kind of model pinup thing to actually being taken seriously. I know it's weird, but there was humor on the bridge to being taken seriously.
And when did you feel like, honestly, I mean, obviously we should care about everything in our life, but not caring is a huge advantage, and about what people think of you, about how you look. I mean, obviously we want to keep it together, but can you tell the moment when you'd obviously achieved a ton of success in modeling and you were starting to reach out into the media, but then when you were like one day when you're like, actually I don't care.
I don't care?
Yeah.
I think it's when I told the press to kiss my fat ass. That was the moment when I was like, you know what?
Come on, clap her. Clap her.
I don't give a damn. But actually, Laura, I was supposed to say something else.
You say something else.
I was supposed to say, F you. And we were going to bleep it because we were on television.
Ooh, that's a rude word.
Not cable television. And at the last minute, I said, actually, as I'm doing the speech, I said, I don't want to be bleeped.
No.
I don't want to be bleeped. This is a big moment. I'm friggin' crying right now. So let me say something that I won't get beeped. And then
we all remember it. And I think it's interesting because we work with television and with the talk show, but you're such a great and powerful user of the social media, which many of you are using as we speak. Do we look cute? She does anyway. But how do you progress your ambitions in your business through Instagram, through Facebook, through Twitter?
Well, I'm obsessed with social media. I don't know about how many of you all are obsessed with it. So much that the carpal tunnel kind of thing is going on. And then you try to use the other hand. And then you try to talk to Siri, like, Siri, can you put a filter on this picture? She's not there yet.
Siri doesn't get you.
She doesn't, So I have this obsession with it because it feels very empowering as a public person as well as a businesswoman to be able to have things come out of my mouth and for people to hear them. We used to be so at mercy of the press and hoping that if you talk to a journalist that they would hopefully write it correctly. And to have social media, it's amazing for me. And again, I use so much humor, like so crazy. I'm not the kind of person that tweets just like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, let me think about it. Okay, let me
there's an
rewrite
art to this.
Let me smooth it over. Let me kind of twist it around. Let me add a little, I'm very methodical about my favorite social media.
My favorite term you use, five head.
Oh, my five head.
Five head?
Exactly.
It's not a 4 head, it's a 5 head.
You were talking about my bling bling nails.
Yeah.
And so I have these bling bling diamante, you know, kind of ghetto, but now they're chic because the white girls are wearing them now. You know how that happens, right? It's like big butts. It's like, that was forever, but now, oh, white big butt, ooh, it's really beautiful. So anyway, I digress. So, and y'all know it's true, come on. By the way, let me tell you what I think the secret is to making full-figured, mainstream, and gorgeous like Marilyn Monroe. We need a white woman to be full-figured. The minute we have a white woman that is thick and full-figured, like Beyonce and Kim Kardashian, it will change society. So I'm taking bids now for anybody that knows a white woman.
Who's here?
Because it will change society. I know it's sad, but it's true. So we're taking bids. Very controversial statement, but it's friggin' true.
Yes,
anyway, I digress.
You can tweet at her at Tyra Banks. And she will be there. Yeah. But actually, just quickly on social media, just still, because I think it's
this
hugely...
bling bling.
Bling
yes,
bling.
so talking about humor.
Yes.
With, you know, to me, self-deprecation is really important. And it's not something that I do strategically. I do a lot of strategic tweeting. It's not strategic, it's just natural. Mm-hmm. Perhaps I've been doing it my whole life to laugh before somebody else laughs at me. Right, I mean, that's probably the deep, dark behind it, but right now it's just
You are on a couch.
Darling, strategically like this. So yeah, I have this bling bling nail thing, and I was about to post a picture, and I was like, okay, that's boring. Let me do something. So I said, shine bright like my 5 head, because I have a big forehead, so big I call it a 5 head. And it was a very popular Instagram and tweet.
Do you sing it? Can you sing it?
Shine bright like my 5 head.
Like a 5 head.
Yeah, so it's really important for me, young girls, for them to see imperfection and to not be hiding behind it and to celebrate it and to make fun of it.
And so, I mean, just really like in a quickly, because I feel like a lot of, you're so prolific on social media and you're so good at it. Was there any advice you'd give to some of the young girls about how to use it?
How to use social media?
I think that you've got to be so careful.
Oh yeah, like I said, I don't just go with it, I think about it. How is this going to be taken? Okay, this is a little bit pushing the envelope, but I understand just how much it's pushing it. So it is so important for young girls to take a beat, think about it, and think about like blackmail. Could somebody pull this up later? Could it make you lose a job?
Yeah.
Could it make you lose a woman, lose a man, lose something that's important to you by something that you have sent that you thought was just haphazard and fun and nothing?
Yeah, edit. That's what I always say, edit. Now that, I mean, through the various mediums that you've excelled at, Tyra Banks, how do you navigate your career path now? You're obviously in Cycle 20 of ANTM. You have a number of different businesses. So day to day, how do you, I know you've been very conscientious on learning business. You did business, what's the actual course at Harvard?
Owner-President Management program at Harvard.
That one. I did that twice. And, no, but how do you navigate day to day now, and which way are you steering your company and yourself?
I'm obsessed with white space, white space, white space. Things that haven't been done before, things that are different. I'm not excited or interested in derivative, like something that's, you know, derivative of something else. When we created America's Next Top Model, it was 11 and a half, 12 years ago. Actually, my partner and I, Ken Mott, created that format that was later copied by a lot of different television shows. And when I say format, it doesn't mean a modeling themed show. It means a format. There's a teach, challenge, photo shoot, judging type of format that we created that is now the basis of a lot of competition reality. So it's very important for me to find that white space and to be different. And everybody that works on my team knows it. So they don't ever bring something to me that's like the same. Mm-hmm. It's like, we call it zagging, not zigging. And so I encourage everyone to zag, or else you won't break through the clutter. There's so much noise. There's social media and ads and just craziness. And whether you're a consumer, you know, speaking to the women, or whether it's a business that you have, there's just so much clutter. So how can you stand out? That's what it's about for me.
And how do you focus on that, given there is so much coming at you? And that's
guts.
Just people with cameras half the time.
Guts.
How do you just go, shh, okay, now my next thing is this?
Is going to be this. Well, a lot of it is passion. I could have my name on bed sheets, and you know, I could be like, this couch that we're interviewing on is brought to you by the Tyra Banks Home Collection.
It is actually.
No, it's not.
Look underneath.
No, it's not. I've never been interested in slapping my name on things. I've left a lot of money on the table and left a lot of people very frustrated with me as a businesswoman. But to me, it is brand, brand, brand first. What I say first. What I stand for first. In 2014, you will see things coming from me, but it is so organic and so natural. It's going to be like, damn, it's about time she did that. That's so obvious. So that's what it's about for me, just being, you know, what I'm passionate about, and also what is organic. Like right now, I am super duper passionate about live entertainment.
Live with actual people talking to people as we are
Yes.
doing now. And I
I'm-
think everybody's looking up and not at their devices, which is amazing.
That's really good.
Oh, I
yeah.
saw you.
So
But no, what do you mean? In that way, do you mean
Yeah,
like
so
live,
it's
like
entertainment,
stage stuff,
whether
or-
it's theater, whether it's stage, whether it's things that are interactive, things that are immersive, and how do you bring this beauty and fashion industry and live entertainment together, which again hasn't been done. People think it has. Oh,
Right.
it's a fashion show and there's some sand on the runway and it's raining inside. And actually, designers have taken it to the 10th level when it comes to fashion shows. I want to take it to the 20th. And I'm not talking about a fashion show. Unfortunately, I'm talking in code. But you will see very immersive experiences from the Tyra Banks company in 2014 and 15 and 16 and beyond. It's really our mission.
I want to do it now. Let's do it now. Why do I have to wait?
You don't have to
There's
wait.
no time. But you also have, you've started, I mean, this is excellent. She has an investment firm called Fierce Capital.
Of course, like what other
LLC.
word could I use?
I mean, how good? There goes, you know, but what do you look for in companies or brands or
invest in?
TV shows that you invest in?
Yeah. So what I'm looking for with Fierce Capital is companies that are either female founded, so the founders are female, or female run, meaning a CEO that didn't necessarily is not necessarily a founder, or companies that are directly targeting a female consumer. And so those are three passions of mine. I've invested in about, I think, 4 companies so far. 2 we've mentioned publicly, and 2 we have not yet. And this is something that I am being very aggressive. I have a business partner that says that he wants 40 of these for us in the next 3 years. 40.
What are you doing here? You got to go buy things. Bloody hell.
So yeah, we're very excited, and I'm constantly taking business meetings with a lot of female entrepreneurs. I had a meeting with a lovely woman. I can't say her name because I was pitching myself to her and tap dancing, like, don't you want my money, and don't you want, you know, part of me? Just recently in New York, super, she's just an amazing woman. I'm also looking for women that are good faces for their businesses, and I don't mean like pretty, that's not what I mean, but someone that could actually be a role model to other women, so that when I partner with them, I actually want to give them a megaphone for their business. Exactly. Yeah. Very important.
And so sort of finally, and I have a feeling from this sort of quivering anticipation here that people want to ask some questions, but what are you ambitious for now?
What am I ambitious for? Yeah. I really want a business that is bigger than me, that means a lot more than me as a person. I look up to Walt Disney, who's no longer with us. And when young kids go to Disneyland, they think that Disney is just a name. They don't understand that was a human being. And that's what I want. I could care less if young girls, 30 years from now, don't know that the Tyra Banks company or a Tyra Banks venture was a person. Just as long as they're there understanding about unique beauty, that they don't have to be a cookie cutter to be beautiful, and that this place or this business, these things that they participate in, make them feel better. That's what I want. Legacy business.
I think she's doing rather well at that, don't you? Okay, questions. Clapper. Okay, striped jacket, nice lady. I don't think she has a microphone. Yeah, you.
Hi. My name is Sweeney. First of all, I have a request because I'm not tall enough on the America's Next Top Model. Can I take a picture with you later?
Sure.
But I find my passion. I really want my startup, and that's why I'm in New York City. But one thing that I think a lot of females will find was that, do you feel lonely sometimes? Especially a lot of your friends or even your colleagues, models, they are not into what you're into, and sometimes you just can't have someone to talk with you. And obviously, you can't always date someone who is also an entrepreneur and talk about stuff with you. So how do you deal with that loneliness in your life?
I love your question because it does feel lonely, doesn't it? It
Yes.
feels icy and cold, like you just pull up the covers and it just doesn't get warm enough.
Exactly.
So lonely. And what changed my life is actually going to Harvard Business School, this executive education program. It was over 3 years. I'd go to school for about a month at a time, live in those dorms, and I was surrounded by people every single day. And then in between, we'd go to school for about a month, leave, and then come back. I finally had people that could talk that business ease and it felt so good. And I met one of my best friends in the world now, and she is from Quebec City in Quebec. And are you from Quebec? Bonjour, ça va?
There's two.
And we get together, and it's so great to be lying on a beach with a friend, and for me to have my computer open and to take a conference call, and she's not rolling her eyes at me, you know, because she's doing the same thing. So we do like business and fun, and she actually is my, almost like my external board of, unofficial board of directors for my finance and accounting of my business. I'm unofficially on her board for strategy and marketing, because that's my strength, and it's just like so beautiful. And on top of that, we talk about men and all that stuff too, so it's perfect.
I thought I was that to you, but okay.
And you are,
behind, blue top, and then I'll got you.
Hi, Tyra, how are you? I just have a question about reinvention. How do you reinvent yourself? How do you, if you started off great and then you maybe fell a little bit, I know you have to dust your shoulders off. That I already got. But what is a formula for reinvention?
With reinvention, because that's actually one of the things that I'm the most proud of with my career, is reinvention. Is to be this girl in Sports Illustrated and Victoria's Secret and CoverGirl and Paris fashion runways and Milan and everything, and then to not necessarily be looked, that's not the first thing that people necessarily think all the time when they see me. And a lot of it was taking a risk, and some of the things weren't necessarily the smartest. For instance, I was still a model when I started my talk show. I had a talk show for about 5 years, and I was still a model. Right about a little bit less than a year into me doing this talk show, it wasn't necessarily renewed. We didn't have a pickup from the networks saying that it was going to be renewed, but I felt I needed to do something big and splashy to be taken seriously. I spoke to Victoria's Secret. I told them I did not want to renew my contract. They're an amazing company because they will sign you as long as your booty is up and your titties
Are up.
Your boobs
also up.
Are pushed up with that bra. Boobs.
As long as the only way is up.
They will continue to sign you over and over and over again. So they're great. I wasn't wanting to continue because I felt that I needed to do a big retiring. National TV, December 3rd, Tyra Banks, her last walk on the runway, and she retires, be there, 9 o'clock on CBS. So I did that, but I did it before my talk show was renewed. So can you imagine? Talk show not renewed, Victoria's Secret contract over, you know, so it was a big risk, but it paid off. It showed the world she's not going to rest on something that she's done forever. She's taking this big risk. Thank God it paid off. But in hindsight, it was stupid. I should have waited for that renewal and then did it. Y'all wouldn't have known the difference. I would have, but you guys wouldn't have.
Boom. Okay. Yes, in the front here.
Hi. I'm Ravneet. I'm a personal fashion stylist. I'm a nutritionist and a motivational speaker and writer. And I asked this question earlier to the panel, and I'm going to ask it again. My passion, apart from almost everything, is to change the face of magazines, to have real women represented. And you're a real woman, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Could I have your thoughts on this? Why hasn't it happened already? There's got to be a good reason why it hasn't happened already. And what are your thoughts on this? And do you think the public, do you think media, do you think magazines are ready?
I 100% think that the public is ready.
Yeah.
One thing that a lot of high-end fashion magazines do, no offense, Laura, no offense.
I'm putting on my invisibility cloak.
You know, there's a kind of a narrow beauty ideal that makes you feel insecure, and if you don't look like that, it makes you want to buy product. There's a way to still celebrate a woman and still make her want to buy product. Because you have to realize if you're going to start a magazine, you're really selling product and putting a couple of pretty pages in the middle of it. Oh, look at that. But really you're selling product. Right. So the one thing that is really crucial is aspiration. So you say you want to represent real women.
Yes.
Real women still want to look at a dope-ass version of themselves.
Exactly.
So aspiration is crucial. Crucial, crucial, crucial. The wind machine, the smoky eye, the Spanx on,
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
but just a big ass under those Spanx. Do you understand what I mean? So the aspiration is important because people want to escape and dream.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is you're allowing them to escape, but not so far.
Yeah.
Because there's still a version of themselves that they're seeing. It's just an aspirational version.
Dream just a little and represent themselves.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
welcome.
My
What
pleasure.
she said. The lady in the black jacket here, just here.
Hi. I have a startup that I started with my best friend and my sister, which had been great. It's a tech company. And we already ran through the first round of financing, and we learned with experience that it's almost like dating.
I didn't hear the last sentence.
It's almost like dating because you want
Bing?
dating.
Oh, dating. Okay.
Sorry for the accent.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you want your investor to have your same goals. You want your investor to share a lot of your culture, because otherwise it's very difficult to work with them. So from hearing your perspective in First Capital, I was wondering how's the best way to reach First Capital?
The best way to reach, and then I miss, First Capital?
Yes.
Actually, we have, I don't know if we're taking submissions freely, but I'll have you talk to my team after, okay? And you can give us your card, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One last one. Oh Lord, there's three, but whichever way you can go, the lady in the white shirt, and then maybe you can grab at the end. Or maybe you two sitting next to each other, just combine.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I was just wondering, you're talking about, you know, this kind of shift towards fuller figured women, and even though that's great, especially like for me, there's then the like girls that don't have any curves that are now like, oh, I don't fit into this new trend. And if you look back in the 50s, like fuller figured women were the trend, and then it shifted towards the skinny girls. And so how do we kind of break that cycle of, you know, women always trying to fit into whatever is on trend currently? And, you know, is it the media pushing this, or is it people that are pushing the media?
Mm-hmm. So I used to, many years ago, I traveled on a college lecture circuit, and I spoke at Johns Hopkins and UCLA and I can't remember, Georgetown, about this topic, USC, about this topic specifically, about women's bodies going in and out of fashion, whereas men's bodies pretty much stay the same, whether it's Tarzan or Thor today, fine-ass Liam Hemsworth, right? It's kind of the same thing. Still difficult to live up to, but the same. So women's bodies do go in and out of fashion, but I think it is gonna be a hell of a long time before a thin woman is feeling insecure because she doesn't see images of herself in a magazine. So that is the least of our worries. I get a lot of pushback from very skinny girls when I'm like, ooh, booty, and all this kind of stuff, and they're like, what about us skinny girls? I'm like, open up any magazine, honey, you're okay. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, you're not the underdog here, so it's okay. It's really okay. I think it's fine to champion the underdog because the one in power has the power. So I don't think we're going to have that problem in the next 30 years. I really don't.
And I think I got to wrap up. Oh, look, they're so bossy. I love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tyra.
Thank you, Laura Brown. Thank you, everybody.